I'm John K. Snyder III, creator of Fashion in Action, artist on Suicide Squad, Grendel, Dr. Midnight, and you're listening to 11 O'Clock Comics.
That sounded so good.
Thanks, man.
I gotta stop giving you compliments.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just so free with them. I hand them out like candy. Here's another compliment.
Oh, not to me, you don't. They're few and far between in my life. I'll take them. Shit.
I think you're lying.
You think that.
Wow.
Have I ever lied to you?
Not that I can recall. Yeah. I never walked away from a conversation saying that motherfucking liar. I hate him.
Lying again.
I hate him.
Hate him.
But we don't hate you people because this right here is 11 O'Clock Comics, episode 979. And I am Vince B.
Ooh, you are. I am David A. Price. But what's that?
Pitter patter of little hairy feet.
I
think it is. We have a guest. Let's rephrase that. We have a family member who is rejoining us this week because Jason is AWOL. Do we need
nice little last minute message?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to be here next week. Oh, okay.
By the way, I'm on a plane, boys.
Yeah, I guess we'll get some spackle to fill the fucking hole you've left. But whatever. This person is not a guest. He's a family member. It's Tony Fleecs. Do we need to tell you? Stray dogs, local man, a time shopper.
Feral.
Yeah, feral, all that stuff.
Uncanny Valley, The Thing upcoming, Wolverine from the Venom War crossover that everyone read. It's me, everyone. It's Tony Fleecs.
And Tony has a brand new microphone, so you'll notice that he sounds marginally better than he has before, which is good. It's an improvement.
Patreon listeners will get to hear us. I know one of the favorite Patreon rewards is that you get to hear these guys dial in their levels. They'll get to hear us really dialing in our levels.
Riveting. A lot
of that.
This month's bonus.
I got a new mic. I got a new cord for my mic. That's all. Go on, Vince. I'm sorry.
No, this month's bonus episode is going to be more than 5 hours long. So if you like to listen to shit, and a lot of shit, boy, are you going to have a good time this month, because it is just a massive heaping, steaming plate of dookie that you all seem to love. But I don't get it. I don't have to get it. But great. I'm glad you love it. I will give you more of it if you love it. And you know what else we'll give you? We'll give you the inside track on where to get your OGNs, your trade paperbacks, your omnibus editions, your manga, art books at a fraction of what everybody else is paying. Where is this place? CheapGraphicNovels.com. CheapGraphicNovels.com, Tony. You are intimately familiar with the owner of this place.
Intimately. I've been to CheapGraphicNovels.com in person. I've toured the warehouse. It's beautiful.
I wish I could say the same.
It's a monster, cavernous. Yeah. One day, if you guys make it out here, if you go on vacation like Jason always does, and come out here to Los Angeles, you can see it yourselves.
Well, I don't go on vacation nearly as much as Jason does. But anyway, I recently received a box from CheapGraphicNovels.com. I pre-ordered the Legion 5 Years Later omnibus. I got it. It's pristine. But I'm telling you, this thing is a deadly weapon. It could kill someone. It is massively heavy. And it's a whole lot of Legion goodness. Why did I get it from CheapGraphicNovels.com? Because they had the best price and they have the best service. And if you're a first-time customer, here's what you're going to do. Buy something small, maybe not an omnibus, but buy something that'll stay you over for a little while. And you're going to receive an email confirmation. Thank you for ordering from CheapGraphicNovels.com. You're going to reply to that email confirmation saying, my goodness, Mary Jo, I would never have known about this place if not for my buddies over at 11 O'Clock Comics. And Max is going to give you free shipping on your next order. That is an incredible savings on top of what you're already saving on the books themselves. And there's a spring special going on with massively discounted items. And if that wasn't enough, they also have, what, DAP specials are they called?
they've got some specials.
They've got some specials.
Every week you get an email on Mondays for the new releases, including Max Picks at the end of the email. It's great. So yeah, you click the link and you'll find some specials. We have some specials on the Slack for the patrons. And a couple things I leave off to the side this week would include Dark Knights of Steel, the deluxe edition hardcover. There's 2 covers, one by the series artist and one by Dan Mora. The Pooch cover is the one I'm going to get. $29.99, an epic high fantasy story originated by fan favorite writer Tom Taylor. Dark Knights of Steel weaves a story of princes, kings, queens, and of course, knights. Here, kingdoms clash and heroes are made and cut down, reinventing characters as high fantasy warriors who trade their superpowers in for swords and shields. This is the ideal story for readers who love their heroes mixed in with something a bit more fantastical than capes and cowls. We have DC Finest, Superman Family, the Giant Turtle Man trade paperback. Join Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Perry White, Lana Lang, Streaky the Super Cat, Crypto the Super Dog, and more in these lighthearted tales that showcase what it's really like to be the girlfriend, pal, boss, or pet of the Man of Steel. Collect stories from July 1960 to October 1961, originally published in Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, Action Comics, and Superman. Only What's Necessary, Charles M. Schultz and the Art of Peanuts hardcover 75th anniversary edition. Schultz believed that the key to cartooning was to take out the extraneous details and leave in only what's necessary. Renowned designer Chip Kidd was granted unprecedented access to the extraordinary archives of the Charles M. Schultz Museum and Research Center in Santa Rosa, California, reproducing the best of the Peanuts newspaper strip, all shot from the original art by award-winning photographer Jeff Spear. Only What's Necessary also features exclusive, rare, and unpublished original art and developmental work, much of which has never been seen before. And finally, The Writer trade paperback. There's a Ariel Olivetti cover and a direct market Mike Mignola cover. $13.99. Josh Gad and the Berkowitz brothers team up with legendary artist Ariel Olivetti for a thrilling graphic novel of Jewish folklore and magic. The Writer plunges readers into the captivating world of Stan Siegel, a renowned comic book writer whose life spirals into a terrifying adventure beyond the confines of reality as Stan, his mother, and his daughter navigate a landscape steeped in occult mysteries. Their quest for answers reveals hidden identities and ignites a high-stakes race against an emerging terror. This collects the 4-issue series. I hope there are no babies involved in this story, but those are the 4 specials this week. And I cannot wait to get that Dark Knights of Steel book.
Nice. I know that Chip Kidd guy. He's the dude that was paid an assload of money to create a bunch of shit convergence covers for DC.
Covers.
Yeah, they're friggin' horrible covers. We say that all the time, but it stung then, it stings now. They're just bad.
I love that that's what he's famous for.
Yeah, it's totally what he's famous for. So yes, cheapgraphicnovels.com. Go there. You'll save.
Go there.
Don't be silly.
If I didn't mention it, the Schultz book on Peanuts is $22.49.
Did you say penis?
That's cool.
Do you want to say penis?
I just did.
I mean, I'll say it.
Okay. We'll wait. I'm drinking.
Yeah, you are. What are you drinking?
Tony, I don't have to ask this question because I already know the answer to it, but I'm just going to, make a formality. You've seen Caligula, right?
Of course.
Okay, the scene.
I haven't seen the original.
You know that wonderful scene where the general finds his man drinking at his post, and they take the leather and they tie it around his junk so he can't pee, and they feed him copious amounts of wine until his stomach is extended, and then they just slit his stomach open and all the wine and the entrails and everything pours out. The wine I'm drinking.
What you're drinking?
No, the wine I'm drinking is not as good as the shit that came out of that guy. So I'm drinking a very terrible Cabernet Sauvignon that I've had for a while that I need to finish.
It's vinegar at this point.
It's bad. It's pretty bad. But I don't like to throw shit away, so it's.
Cook with it then. Just do something.
Oh
else
yeah,
with it.
because
Don't
I
drink
cook
it.
so much. Can I put it in the microwave? Can I put it in the microwave? Then no, I'm not going to cook with it.
Jesus Christ.
There you go. Air fryer,
Put that whole
maybe.
bottle in the microwave.
Yep.
What are you drinking, Tony?
Gross. I'm having a sugar-free Red Bull because I'm going to the movies after this, and I'm going to like a 9:20 showing, and so I want to be alert still when I get there.
Nice.
What are you seeing?
No fun. I'm going. This is my third night in a row of going to the movies. I'm going to see
week.
tonight Until Dawn, the new horror movie, directed by David F. Sandberg, who did like the middle Annabelle movie and the Flash, or not the Flash, the Shazam movies. But he does a good horror movie. He also did, what was the earlier one? I can't remember. It's not The Orphan, but it's like in that area. But my buddy Gary wrote the movie. Who was my friend who had optioned Stray Dogs years ago, and so I'm gonna go support my pal. But last night I saw Sinners, that ruled, and then the night before that I saw Duel and Sugarland Express at the New Beverly, Spielberg night.
Wow, you
I've been
like
all
to
over
go?
the movies, but even
You do like to?
I do. That's why I love LA. I like to get out and see those movies.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
This is new. Well, what's in the bottle is new. I've talked about Bardstown before. I found them last year or the year before, and they were my favorite new bourbon. And I went back to the store over the weekend, and my man was out of what I picked up last time. But this is still part of their Origin series. It's Kentucky Straight Wheated, not Will Wheaton, but Wheated bourbon whiskey. It is 106 proof, so it's a higher proof than the standard Bardstown that I really really like. But this is I haven't even. I'm trying it for the first time live on the air. So
You're drinking
we'll see how it goes.
Terpenoid. That's what you're drinking. That shit is probably either doing you a great favor by cleaning y'all out or dissolving some shit you might need.
Well, I know Jason. I mean, Jason's not keen on whiskey to begin with, but he would not like this because there's definitely, it might kill him. I'm getting a kick of cinnamon on the back end.
Wow.
And our boy is allergic, deathly allergic.
Yeah, he's allergic to cinnamon. Yep.
But he loves Christmas so much. That's so sad.
They can smell it, I guess, but no, actually, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. You can't really taste the high proof. I like it.
How about that?
How about that?
There you go.
That's from my side.
Let's talk about some comics.
Let's do it.
Let's get this out of the way because I don't mean get it out of the way, meaning I intend to bore you with this, but it is comics. There are comics in it. But it is created by a man who does comics, and he's a phenomenal illustrator. And when I say the name, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. Robin Bougie.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
The one-time writer, illustrator of Cinema Sewer, which was an amazing run of zines that were focused on the cinema. All the great movies and the bad ones we love so much, and his opinion and the with the drawing the line between who was in this movie and appeared in this movie and what happened behind the set in this movie. Like he's an authority on a lot of weird stuff. Bougie, and then he did Gutter Hunter, which was his Cinema Sewer take on comic books. With the same approach, with exhaustive, in-depth investigations and commentary on comics. Well, he's changed the focus again. This is called Sonic Sewer, of which it is the first volume. It is a vinyl obsessives guided tour through music history. And it's the Cinema Sewer format just applied to music. And it is absolutely wonderful. It's done with the same aesthetics as Cinema Sewer and Gutter Hunter. All of the type is hand lettered. I say that in quotes because Robin is very smart and he has made a font of his handwriting. So it is hand.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's hand lettered. But if you look, the giveaway is the G. The G is, he does this G that's kind of affected where it's a little bit, it drops a little bit below the baseline where the other letters do not. And so I'm like, okay, did he make a font? And I'm going through it and it's like every G is exactly the same. So I'm thinking, all right, my man's smart. He made a font of his handwriting. I don't call that cheating. Because to hand letter, this stuff would take forever. Right, my man needs to make some money. So yes, perfectly, it's fair game. The cover of this thing is by a man named Vince Rarus. He's done some covers for Cinema Sewer and other Bougie projects, but he did a rendition of Debbie Harry. My vote for the most beautiful woman ever to make music. And this cover is absolutely amazing. He even got that, you know, Debbie had that little thing where you could see the top of her gums, not on her bottom teeth, on her top teeth. When she smiled, you could see the tops of her gums, like she's screaming into a microphone and you can see the tops of her gums, like attention to detail, dude. That's what this is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great cover. So what's in here? I did say there were comics, and then there are. There's a comic by Josh Simmons on some people called Princess Chelsea and Jonathan Bree, who I have no idea who they are. But it's a Josh Simmons comic, and I enjoyed it for that. There's a lot of, some of it is intensely personal, where Bougie will go on about seeing Devo's Whip It video for the first time. And then he talks about digital, is it better than analog? And the answer is no in a lot of cases, because a lot of albums within the last 30 years were recorded digitally. So it's not true analog. Current vinyl's not really true analog because these things were recorded digitally. So yes, the jury is still out on whether digital and analog, which one's better. But you got the Steve Miller Band. There is a Spectrum-Man investigation, a Mark David Chapman piece where one of the targets of Chapman was David Bowie. And I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah. Before he shot Lennon, he went to a play on Broadway to see Bowie in, God, I forget what play it was, but he got super close to Bowie and he's like, I could have killed him in a second. So that filled him with bravado to kill Lennon.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. There's a piece out of Robert.
Prepared? Did he have a weapon? Did he have a way to kill Bowie if he wanted to, or was he just saying I was close?
Oh no, I think he had a gun with him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There's a piece on Robert Crumb. Some comments by Brian Eno. Awful albums from great artists.
Nice.
Yes, I won't tell you what they all are, but one of them is Neil Young's Landing on Water, and I totally agree with that. And he, of course, Metallica and Lou Reed's Lulu. Like that's the whipping child when everybody goes into bad albums. Albums worth $6 or less on Discogs. And he tells you what great albums you can pick up for less than $6 on Discogs.
I wonder if Ray is on any of them. Because Ray's always posting stuff on Discogs.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, I'm sure Ray knows about these things. The Name Game, which is alternate namings for well-known bands. What were they originally called on the road to eventually finding their final name? So you want to be a jazz snob. There's a piece on that. There's a piece on Ray Parker Jr. Yes, Ray Parker Jr. Butthole Surfers. There is and he'll do these little investigations on, the story of, and he'll say this. And one of his is Tom Petty's Full Moon Fever, which is an absolutely astounding album. And anybody wants to disagree with me on that, I'm not accepting it. So there's a story behind Full Moon Fever where Petty was recording it and he was very excited about what was coming out. Jeff Lynne was producing it. He loved the way the songs were sounding. He was happy with the grooves he was laying down. He finishes the album. He takes it to his record company, which at the time was MCA, and the head of MCA was Irving Azoff. And Irving Azoff hated it. He claimed that there wasn't a single among any of the tracks, which is fucking ridiculous to even say that, right? And so Tom Petty was like dejected, and he just went like depressed, went into a funk, and then David Geffen bought MCA Records. And so the leadership at MCA changed, and they took another listen to Full Moon Fever, and they're like, why did we not release this? It's like a greatest hits album. And it went on to be the most profitable album of Tom Petty's career, sold like 6 times platinum, just because Irving Azoff didn't like it. It was shelved. And that's insane to me. You've heard Full Moon Fever, right? Yes? It's a perfect album.
Yeah, it's all hits.
It's all hits. Yeah. And it's amazing. Yeah, it's got Running Down a Dream. It's just a brilliant piece of work. Yeah. There's a piece on Stacia of Hawkwind. Who doesn't love Hawkwind? The story of Yo MTV Raps. I can go on and on and on. Top 10 misheard lyrics. Like, if you love music.
Oh my God. Alex Lucille.
Yep. Nile Rodgers. Top 10 shoegaze albums. A piece on Joan Jett's amazing first album. There's investigation into groove distortion. And a lot of this stuff. Bougie gets a little bit too thinky sometimes, because there's a piece on guilty pleasures, and he's like, at what age do guilty pleasures go away? Like, when do we become comfortable with our tastes where we don't give a shit what everybody else thinks? And I'm like, should be day one, right? It's a contemplating stuff that really, I don't want to say doesn't matter, but the more you think about it, the more you come out of it being like, I'm wasting my time, right? Grammy winners for best albums, 1959 to 2023. He looks at all of them. There is David Bowie unwittingly changed the sound of reggae, and I won't go into that anymore. You need to read that. Gabor Sabo is in here, the Captain and Tennille, Link Ray. I could just go on and on and on, and I am, right? Appreciating jazz fusion. And he drops some big names. Like, there's a story about how Freddie Hubbard went apeshit at a show. Herbie Hancock's in here. Billy Cobham, Johnny Hammond. Like, this is great friggin' stuff. George Duke, my dude, George Duke is in here. And more and more and more. What he did was, Cinema Sewer used to be single issues. And then eventually, when he had enough to compile them into a trade paperback, he did so. And there were 8 volumes of Cinema Sewer. Bougie just dispensed with the single issue format on this and went straight to the collection. So this is almost 200 pages of really small Bougie text and illustrations. It took me the whole weekend to read this, and it was only $20. It's published by FAB Press, and it is amazing. Sonic Sewer, Volume 1. Bougie has a store envy thing, so go buy it from him so he makes more money, but don't get it from Amazon. Find an alternative way to get it. Maybe order it from your local comic shop or get it straight from Bougie, because it's worth so much of your time and effort to get this thing. If you're a music fan. If you're not, then I don't know why you would read this. I'm, Tony, you know me, I'm a hardcore music fan. Like, this is my realm. I love all of this. And I can dig it. I had such a good time reading it.
Did you watch that? You must have.
What?
That like 3-hour long Tom Petty documentary that came out like 10 years ago?
Yes.
That thing rules.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a diehard Tom Petty fan. Like, I like the Heartbreaker stuff, right, but I think his work on his own was far better than the stuff with the Heartbreakers. And I know for the most part, he wrote the stuff, and he was driving the bus, so it's just like him doing solo work with a backup band. And maybe I'm giving the Heartbreakers short shrift. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a big enough fan to know that. But Petty stuff on his own, holy shit, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a reason why Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
There's a story in that documentary about how when they were putting that greatest hits collection together, they wrote Mary Jane's Last Dance in like 15 minutes or something. They're just like, whatever, we'll just knock out one more. And then they made that thing incredible. The guy's very talented, I think.
Yeah, and I remember hearing Don't Come Around Here No More and thinking, what the fuck is he doing? Mm-hmm. And then the more you listen to it, it's like, it seeps in, and you get it after a. It's like, holy shit, this is multi-layered. It's a callback to the '60s, and yet it sounds fresher than anything that was on the radio at the time. Like, it's nuts. Whatever. Sonic Sewer, Fab Press, Robin Bougie, go get it. My copy's autographed because I got it right from him.
Boom.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to support the artists. Fuck that Amazon bullshit. Just saying.
Just saying.
What else we got?
Well, I want to let the guest go.
David.
Oh.
Well, I got big news. I have read nothing this week. I figured I would just come on here, be supportive, probably hear some things that I will order myself, and then let you talk about Superman a little, and then let Vince talk about some manga that's like borderline illegal, and then we can all just go on.
Nice. Well, I don't have any manga.
And I don't have any Superman. I hate to break your heart.
Wow. But Dap and I did read something.
Like a real fool.
No, Tony, are you reading the Ghost Machine books?
I read Junkyard Joe. I'm not reading them as they come out.
For shame.
I know.
For shame. Dap and I are going to talk about that after Dap talks about something.
Vince, you talked about this in the very recent past.
Yes, I did.
Zawa and the Belly of the Beast.
Yes, because it's a very good book.
It is a very, very good book. And I know I had it. I didn't read it at the time. And I was looking for something over the weekend to read, and this caught my eye. And as Vince said before, it is created, written, and drawn by Michael Dialinus, is how I'm going to say it. But I completely blanked out on how food forward the story is.
I told you it was a foodie book.
Complete with recipes.
Yeah, it is. It's nuts.
I know.
That's why I was surprised. Why the fuck do I like this thing?
Seriously.
Yeah.
I would have, if I read this and then brought it up and would have expected you or Jason to read it. I don't, aside from how beautiful the book is, the story and the way that it revolves around food, I don't know if that would be enough to convince you to try it. But
right.
I'm glad you read it. It's amazing. I really, really enjoyed it. I couldn't stop. I couldn't put it down. We're introduced to, and I'm not going to go deep into it since I don't remember the episode you talked about it on, but we've got Bandit and Thatcher. They are their father died. Mom works for the mayor, works for the municipality, and the mayor just keeps feeding the residents, the citizens of Mace's Boone, just nothing but processed food. Everything that comes out of a machine. The burgers are hot garbage. Just everything. And Bandit wants to he wants to kind of just follow Dad's footsteps. And he's a baker. He's a chef. He makes food for the people in his community that they all appreciate and they all love, and they enjoy it much more than any of the crap the mayor is pushing on everybody. But Zawa is a guardian, and there's folklore and nursery rhymes, and basically the people of Mace's Boone just think Zawa's a myth, like just any sort of mythical creature. But Zawa actually does exist, and how we learn about Zawa and where they come from and how Mace's Boone came to be, and just how that all unfolds. It's a bit crushing, but it feels a little timely for this age. It is, no matter how heavy or tense you might feel reading it because you're concerned about the characters in the book, Michael's art just completely helps ease any pain. It's just the way the words and the pictures and the characters that are coming to life. It's a beautiful book. The colors are amazing. There were parts where I thought maybe I wasn't trying to guess where the story was going or write what was going to happen. I was very surprised at things that I thought might happen based on other stories I've read. Like if somebody would be a little duplicitous or not trustworthy, but that's I'm happy to say that any fears were unfounded. They weren't realized. Everything. It's a straightforward story in that regard. But it's like I said again, it's a beautiful book. The ending is for me was a little bittersweet. I was happy. I was glad that things ended the way they ended, but there's it's not a completely happy ending. It's slightly open ended where hopefully fences. Well, I don't want to say. Basically, fences are kind of mended by the end of the book, but you have as they've grown older, things aren't the way they were. It is all I'm going to say. You should absolutely read it. It's a fun little story. I think it was a 4 or 5 issue miniseries, but it's collected at a trade. There's some recipes in the back of the book. I thought it's an absolute home run. I'm so glad that I finally just sat down to read it and kind of kicking myself that it did take me as long as it did to get to it. But I definitely recommend it. Zawa totally looks scary as intended at the start. But they are accepted and are trusting, and things end up going a little better than you might think at first blush. But yeah, Zawa and the Belly of the Bleed, Zawa and the Belly, or plus the Belly of the Beast is something you should totally be checking out.
Sounds great.
I think you would.
That's 2 out of 3 recommendations. Where's Jason on this one? Did he check it out yet?
I don't know if he's read it. He should though. Yeah, it was.
You know what? I did
Boombox.
Oh. You know, I did read that had the 3-way 11 o'clock recommend was Confession. Is that what it was? The
Confessional.
The vampire girl.
The Confessional. By Silver Sprocket. By Paige Hender, published by Silver Sprocket. Yeah. Yes, The Confessional. You absolutely should read that.
Yeah. You guys were right about that. That was a real treat. What a cool concept. Yeah. Like that whole vampire thing.
That she's sexy.
I will add my fourth recommend to Confessional by Paige Hender. Very good book. Beautifully put together. I almost stopped by. I was up in San Francisco this weekend, like a weekend, and then on Monday, and almost stopped by Silver Sprocket. But I had to get back here to let the dog out, and it's like a 6-hour drive. So I drove back.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
I was up there for a My Little Pony convention. As you guys might recall, I used to draw My Little Pony comics.
You did used to draw
And
it.
so over the weekend, I was at a My Little Pony convention in San Francisco, and then on Monday, I hit up Cape and Cowl Comics in Oakland, and then I hit up Comics Experience in San Francisco, Brian Hibbs' shop. I just wanted to pop in, like when I get in another town, I like to pop in, say hi to comic stores, and take them posters and stuff.
So wait a minute, you haven't
did a
drawn
little bit.
a My Little Pony comic in a stretch. So do these fans
Yeah.
have such long memories where it's like because you know how comics are. If you're not on the racks, then
Yes.
do they still like jump all over you and shit?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, I'm like the Jim Lee of My Little Pony comics.
I believe
still
it, dude.
remember.
I believe it.
No, I mean pony conventions right now sort of remind me of like Star Trek conventions in between the original series and like the movies and Next Generation. When it's sort of like there's no ponies on TV right now, and so it is all just like a nostalgia convention. People that love this thing that there's not a whole lot of new content coming out for. So the comics actually did even better now than they do other shows because now it's like, oh, if you haven't checked this out yet, then here's some new content that you haven't that you can still get get your fix, but there's no show, so yeah. It was great. It was a real time. And then, like I said, I got to stop in some comic stores. I saw Matthew Rosenberg and Tyler Boss, and they were on they're going on like a tour promoting those 2 new books.
Oh, right.
By coincidence, they were at Comics Experience when I was there.
The Tyler Boss one
Very
is the only
weird.
one I read, and it's very good.
The Giallo one,
Yes,
You'll Do
yeah,
Bad
yeah.
Things.
Yes, very, very good book.
Yeah, we were all here together on that one.
Yeah, I got to
Yeah, we
read
talked
that.
about that. We argued about.
We argued about whether or not it was
Go ahead.
Boss or
Right.
on the covers.
Yeah. Well,
On
Tony
the
did.
cover, and I think it is
Or
Tyler Boss.
Tradmore.
I think he just has a different style. It's not Tradmore.
appreciate
I dug as deep as I could, and it does appear that he's just doing something different.
Huh. There you go.
Speaking of creators and comic shops, I was talking to my aunt recently, and she visited the store where she usually picks up her basketball cards, and she tells me who she saw there and who she met. He wasn't there for a signing. This may actually be like his LCS, but she met W. Maxwell Prince.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did he have ice cream?
Yes. He did not have ice cream, but he did hint that he told her in secret that about some projects coming up. One we know about, but he kind of went into a little bit of detail, I think. That
How about that?
yeah, so lucky her.
Does your aunt read Ice Cream Man?
No.
Or she just knew that
No,
he
she
was
doesn't
a
read comics
creator.
at all.
She got
Yeah,
the scoop
either,
for you. She was
I see what
roving
you did
reporter.
there. The scoop. That's a good one.
So clever. You should be a writer. I don't know. I don't know if Muhammad, the guy who runs the shop, I don't know if he like told her. I think he told her who he is because she's told him about the podcast. So it was almost like it was kind of like maybe he'll do the show or something kind of thing.
Nice.
That
Well,
was-
I mean,
you guys
two
know
of
that
us
you should-
would
did she get-
enjoy that.
Yes, that's right. What'd you say, Tony?
Did you get his number? Are you in touch now?
No, I did not get his digits. He was kind of there, like not in secret, but he wasn't there to kind of like promote himself or anything. He was just there to pick up his books, not his books.
Yeah,
but
it was off.
his weekly poll.
All right, Tony.
Right.
If you're not reading this book, I'm going to be extremely
Yes.
cross with you.
Well, I'll have it read by next
Okay.
time.
Have you read
I'm always
Assorted?
a couple-
Have you read Assorted Crisis Events from Image?
I read the first one. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So you know where I don't have to give you any background on this book then. Okay. Second
No.
one came out. And
We're talking about issue 2 now. Okay.
we're talking about issue 2, written by Dennis Camp, with art by Eric Zavadsky, and whatever kind of food or exercise regimen he's got going on between issues 1 and 2, he leveled up even between issues. Like this issue's insane.
It's so nuts.
And Jordi Belair did the colors. I won't tell you what it's completely about, but it's a story about birth and violent death, and it's all linked by blood. So you have blood in a sense of there's usually blood during the birth process. There could be blood during the death process, especially violent death, but blood also has connections to spirituality and religion, like the blood of the lamb. This issue is absolutely impeccably plotted. It's like a virtuoso performance. I read the thing and I had to go back and read it again thinking, did I just read what I thought I read? Because it's non-linear. And usually non-linear stuff gives me a headache. And because I'm just trying to piece the timeline together about where all these incidents and events are happening. So there was none of that here because it all makes sense. It's about a meat packing plant, a slaughterhouse, right? Where the cattle are dispatched in the traditional way with the bolt, boom, into the forehead. And it focuses on a generational, like a family that were employed at the meat packing plant, father and son. And the father, something happens to the father, and when it happens, his body makes a motion that is mirrored in events within the issue to his son. I know I'm being vague because I really don't want to spoil this, but it is an amazing issue. I don't know how anyone can go through this thing and not have the wind completely knocked out of them by the end of it. It's really that good.
There are parts in this issue that are rough to take.
Oh, sure, it's very, very violent, very bloody.
Yeah. It's not necessarily that it's violence against other people. It's if you're queasy, if you're on if you don't like to know where your food comes from, this is not
don't read this. Don't
it's my man Camp pulls no punches. Like he's not taking you by the hand and giving you step by step on what happens, but it's the conversations that take place in the book are very specific to that industry. My man is talking like, everybody understands what he's saying, and this is just normal life for everybody. And
you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even HR, they're like, oh no, we all have a little bit of blood on our hands working here, and it's like, and because he hands
literally
his report and there's some blood on it, and it's like, so she just wipes it off, and the fact that it's not linear is what keeps me just like, if this was a straightforward story, I don't really know how it would land, how I would feel after reading it, but the fact that it does jump around and I'm feeling for Jesus and my man and please, I have a family, and it's just almost every other page. It's like, I have a family. I'm good. I'm reliable. I won't get into any trouble. And again, it's another book where it's like, this is very, very topical. It's amazingly illustrated. It's such a great looking book.
Zavadsky's a freak, man. He really is.
It's insane.
And you got to give props to Belair too, but because I think
absolutely.
She has some atypical coloring going on here, and there are some very, very bold choices to mix like a bird's egg blue with a pink.
Yeah.
And it's you wouldn't think it would work. And panel borders are like orangish, like a burnt orange. Like, what is happening? But no, it works. It works really well.
There's I would love to know the process, how everybody works together. If this is Camp's vision, and Eric and Jordy just bring it to life, or if there's a collaboration with all three, or if Eric is the visualizer and Jordy follow. I want to know where everybody starts and ends.
I think that's the beauty of being on this end of the magic mirror, because we don't know. So the fact that the book is this good means they all win by default. In my book, absolutely. Like, I don't want to know where one stops in another one. Like, oh, the thing with the thing was my idea. Like, I don't want to know that, because I think it's there's a synergy going on here with the creative team, that whatever they're doing, they should keep doing it, because this is one of the most powerful things I've read in like a long time. There's a link between justifying murder for the sake of a paycheck, and then it's juxtaposed by velociraptors murdering because that's what they are. Like, that's what they do. Like, that's what velociraptors do. They murder to stay alive. They eat, and then, and it's like, how were these connections drawn? What does Dennis Camp's story or his notebook look like when he's putting together these ideas? And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna mirror the birth of a baby with the fucking beheading of a cow, and it's gonna work. Like, okay, if you can make it work, dude, I'm here for you. But it works. Like, it's just so amazing what they've done with this book. And it's only the second issue. Like, can you imagine it?
If you read the first issue and you're like, okay, I know what this book is about, I know where they're going with this, you sure the fuck do not. Because the second issue is, yes, I mean, it plays with time, but it has nothing to do, and we knew it was an anthology. They announced it was an anthology after the first issue, when the first issue came out. So we knew we weren't going to really see anybody from issue to issue. But this is, aside from jumping around time, just with one person, it's not like it's not narrated by Jesus. It's not we're not getting, there's nothing necessarily with the clock that like our heroine had in the first issue. No, it's there's obviously a theme. I mean, the title is what it is, but this is a completely standalone issue from the first. I'm looking forward to the third based on that cover. But just even the little things, like when Jesus is applying for the one job to be a dishwasher, the manager won't even look at him. The two panels we see him, he's like he's facing away from Jesus, and he's like, if you don't have your papers, I can't hire you. And Jesus is pleading his case, and the manager still won't look at him, and he's like, yeah, but if I get found out, if I get caught, it's not only you, it's everybody who works for me that's going to be affected. So I mean, I get both sides, obviously, but it's just that little extra thing where my man, he knows he would love to be able to hire this man, but he knows he can, and he won't even look at him, and that was one of those pages that kind of just crushed me. And I love the first issue because I thought she was so flippin' cute. I want more stories with our girl, but this issue crushed me. It's between the cows,
very impactful.
Jesus' story. Yeah. It's a hell of an issue.
Tony, there's a design, page design thing going on where a good chunk of the issue has a strip of panels at the top, like maybe 3 panels at the top that if you look at every page, the progression is the same. right? 3 panels, a thin one, a wider one, and then an extended landscape panel. But it's maybe about an eighth of a page, right? And then the pages, whatever follows, could change, but sometimes don't. You'll have a bigger panel, but sometimes not. But once the temporal anomaly blows up, the top panel, the top strip of the page just completely goes away. And you're like, holy shit, you didn't even notice that it was repeating until the velociraptors come, and then everything just goes right off the rails. And you're like, holy shit, that design motif that they were doing, that's not there anymore. But I didn't even know it was there until they took it away. Like, what the hell is happening here? It's mesmerizing. It really is. You need to read it. You need to read this issue. There's, we talk about comics and what it takes to make them and stuff, and some guys and girls and people put in 80% of their energy, depending on the payoff. I think this creative team is investing at this point a phenomenal amount of work, and I really hope it's paying off for them, because it would be as crushing as this issue if they weren't rewarded for efforts like this. This should be the standard in creating sequential art. You should invest this much creative energy into it. Mm-hmm. And comics would be, yikes. Fuck movies. Everybody would be buying comics because they're just so good. But that's not what we have. We have Venom War. No offense, Tony, but
take it easy. Jesus Christ. You can choose some other crossover.
Okay, we have One Nation Under Doom. You know what I mean? Which isn't bad.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. But you know what I mean? Like let's have some fun and be creatively adventurous and try different stuff and be complex if we want to be complex, and not talk down to the readers and try something different, right? I shouldn't have said Venom War.
I'll tell you what, Vince, you know what?
Yes.
This weekend I have to knock out an outline for another crossover tie-in comic, and I promise you that I will do complex things with it and different things, and it will probably not be Assorted Crisis Events, but I can guarantee that it will be more complicated than your average tie-in comic. More thoughtful and more
awesome. I don't think you should sell yourself short, because you're a pretty damn good writer. You surprised me.
I do okay.
I think you do very well.
But yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Did you? Speaking of me. Well, are we done with Dennis Camp?
We are.
Giving this guy a lap dance?
I would give him 2 lap dances if I could.
I don't know if you guys saw, since the last time I've been on, they announced that Celie and I are writing, which I bet you didn't even know anyone wrote this, the Marvel swimsuit issue, which they're bringing back, and this time it's going to have like a wraparound story. And it's drawn by the amazing Nick Bradshaw.
Oh, Jesus.
With art. Yeah, details like crazy.
When was this planned? Like 4 years ago? Just being funny.
The wraparound part is not a full issue's worth of pages. So he'll be able to, he'll get in there and knock it out. That guy, in small bursts, he really knocks out some great pages.
He does.
And totally agree. In whatever bursts, he knocks out great pages. But yeah, it's 15 pages of wraparound story, and then just a ton of pinups in that thing, and it's going to have all your favorites. And I bet they're going to do a jillion covers. I bet I'll get a J. Scott Campbell cover, which, as you know, my dream come true. That would be the greatest news of all time for me. I love that guy.
So wait a minute. So that ensures massive sales?
A J. Scott Campbell cover?
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I just know he draws covers for when they do comics that feature sexy girls.
Oh, you just want to see? You just want to see the cover?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I don't. Not for business reasons. Just because I love
aesthetic reasons. Gotcha. Of course. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I just thought that was like a magic wand for sales. When there's a J. Scott Campbell cover, sales go up like 20% or something.
I believe he does move the needle.
I'm sure he does.
Those days.
Yeah.
He would have to. But the closest I came to having a J. Scott Campbell cover ever was they did a Army of Darkness variant, which they just reprinted one of his old covers on my book, and for now that's holding a spot in my bibliography as one of my proudest moments. But if there's an actual brand new J. Scott Campbell cover, that would be a real huge deal for me. But not even there's a Adam Hughes cover for real that's the A cover on this thing, which is also a huge honor, exciting. Not that they were like, Adam Hughes, guess who's writing this? Would you draw this swimsuit special cover? I'm sure he won't be made aware of my participation, but it's a big deal to me. It's still real to me, damn it.
I think it's nuts. I mean, it's obvious, right? If you're going to do a swimsuit issue, who the hell do you want to do the cover? Adam Hughes, right? Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, Stelfreeze did one of the original ones.
Yeah.
Maybe he might have did a couple of them. Who did do all those original ones?
Yeah, I know Stelfreeze did.
I don't know if Hughes did.
I think Romita Jr. did one too.
He did the inside. He did one on the inside. He did that. I think it's like Punisher holding a big old snake.
Yep.
Oh,
one of the most suggestive drawings of all time.
Didn't he do a bunch of X-Men in a pool or something? And Magneto has like a thong. Maybe.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I went through and flipped through all my old swimsuit issues while we were working on it, but I don't remember all the John Romita Juniors. I just mainly remember that one where he's holding that snake.
So wait a minute. What's the plot of a swimsuit issue? Can you?
Well, so I won't give it all away, but in the previous ones, they would just be like, all the Marvel heroes are going to, the moon. One time they're on the moon because it's like Inhumans themed, and so then they'll be in swimsuits, but they'll be like taking a moon vacation. And they would just figure out some silly thing for all them to do a theme together. But this time they were like, let's make it a story. And so we did a story, like it basically is like, why would there be a swimsuit issue? And so we do the backstory of that. It's got Janet Van Dyne, it's got the Avengers, all kinds of Marvel heroes show up. And we got to write all kinds of fun little Marvel jokes.
Sounds like a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be magazine size or comic size. I bet it's comic size because they don't really do Marvel hasn't done magazine sized in forever.
Long time.
But
I like what Titan's doing with the black and white magazine stuff. The Savage Sword of Conan. It's on again, off again with me, but overall, I like what they're doing. That they're actually embracing that format because I love stuff that's printed on cheap-ass newsprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. And they could charge more for it, but it's only like six something for an issue.
That's incredible for a magazine.
Yeah.
My buddies are in Savage Sword this issue, the most recent issue. Dennis Culver and Chris Burnham of Doom Patrol fame. They did a Conan story. And Burnham went real crazy on some...
Wait, they're on number 8?
Creepy monsters.
Issue 8?
Whatever the one come out this week or next week.
Yeah, that would be issue 8. Awesome. I'll have to get that.
Yeah.
Burnham's a pain in the ass, but I like the way he draws. So.
Yeah, if you like gross stuff and big monster titties, this one's for you.
Who doesn't like monster titties? Show me.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you who does. Chris Burnham.
It's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing.
What a guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dap, I think it's time. I think it's time for us to talk Ghost Machine.
Okay.
And convince Tony to start reading these in single issues because, man.
All right.
My absolute favorite, and I've said this a million times, but I don't care if you're sick of hearing it. Redcoat is...
Rook.
No,
Ooh.
Redcoat is the best Ghost Machine book.
Vince does love Redcoat.
Bar none. It is so good.
This is true.
I don't usually gravitate towards things that are charming.
Yeah.
But issue 10, in which Simon Pure meets Annie Oakley, it was charming. And I think we got Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch and Brad Anderson on this book.
No, Andrew Kurth. Brad Anderson's the colors, but yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Andrew Curry's inking. Yes.
Yeah.
What they've done, what Johns has done with the character of Simon Pure is really amazing in that he doubts everything he does. He doubts he's a good person. He doubts he can be a hero. He doubts he does the right thing, but in every instance, he is the hero and he does the right thing, and he is a valuable asset to whatever events into which he's thrown. Like, it's crazy. He's usually, if you're self-deprecating and you're like bad luck schleprock and your woe is me, that doesn't go very far with me. I can't stand that shit. But Simon has this weird attraction where he's like, I'm Simon Pure, but I'm anything but. And he's full of crap. He cares about people, but he'll tell you he doesn't. He's amazingly resilient and he helps people, but that's not what he does according to him. And it's just, it's nice to see a hero that doesn't think that they're all that valuable or they're all that, but there's a good amount of Peter Parker in Simon Pure. I won't go all the way in saying it's cut from the same cloth, but that schlep, bad, down on his luck through his own doings. But man, he goes toe to toe with Annie Oakley and does every shot that she does. And she's like, huh, you aren't so bad. And he's attracted to her, but, something happens where, a family is put in danger, and Oakley and Pure run into danger. They run into the thick of things, and Oakley's like, okay, I'll do this, this, and this, you do that. And he's like, I can't do that. And Oakley's like, what are you talking about? You can't do that. You just proved that you're good with a gun. You can make the shot. Just do it. And he's like, nah, I can't do it. I'm not a hero. I just can't. And she's like, will you just take the shot? And he does. And it comes out okay. Like, the heroes win the day. But Simon's just like, nah, this is not me. I'm not a hero. And I haven't gotten sick of hearing it yet, because it's charming to encounter a person that on the surface thinks they're, a bucket of shit, but in reality they're anything but. Yes, he gambles and he drinks a little too heavily, and he is usually the cause of his own unfortunate events, but at the end of the day, Simon Pure is a hero. And he's a good soul. And he will tell you adamantly that he's neither of those things. And that's why I love this book.
This was probably, if not one of my favorite issues of the series.
Isn't it nuts, though, that 10 issues and Hitch hasn't taken a break?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know if has there been a month off to promote the trade or anything like that? Has it been 10 months?
I think that's this month for the trade. I think the trade was either solicited last month or, because guys on the Slack have it. So yeah, the trade was already solicited. So maybe they took I think that's what Ghost Machine does. They take a break for a month when they solicit the trade. That's fair, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And Hitch he's not phoning it in. There's a lot of detail on these pages.
There is, yeah. And I don't, and it's not like it says, Brian Hitch breakdowns or layouts and Curry's finishing. It's because even the inkers are listed as Curry and Hitch. So Hitch is finishing some of his own work. So he's not just putting down some roughs and Curry's the one carrying the load. This is Hitch doing the work.
The only page that gave me pause was the locomotive, the engine. The engine's a little bit Photoshoppy.
Okay.
Not the rest of the train. And then later on, when the camera changes and Simon's racing for the car, that's all drawn by Hitch. But that locomotive engine,
in the front,
that's a little Photoshoppy. Little bit high contrast. I'm going to save myself some time. I mean, he went in there and he made some cross hatching, but a lot of the lights and darks look like they were produced by a filter that I know all too well.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Yeah. If you're saving time drawing a locomotive engine and then the rest of the book, you produce something like this, yeah, no foul. Okay. It's all right. Normally, I mean, it's not, what the fuck's his name that I hate?
Bland? Kodransky?
No, the one I talked about last time and Jason was like, what? I love his art.
Sorrentino.
Yeah, Andrea Sorrentino. This is not Sorrentino. This is actually drawn by a human being. Yes.
I think because the previous issue with Johnny Appleseed was cute.
I thought it was fun. Yeah,
it was amusing, but this one actually felt like it mattered. You've got obviously, it starts off with Simon making a getaway because he's a cheat, and then unfortunately he dies again. But the whole thing with Annie Oakley was fantastic, and again going shot for shot, the double page spread, him telling the reader all the trick shots that they had made and that he kept up with her, and then we get the big moment where there's trouble afoot, and it's one thing to shoot targets, it's one thing to shoot playing cards and corks out of jugs and feathers off of birds, but when you actually have to save a life by taking a life, and that's I completely understand why that would give him pause.
No.
But
you're taking kids hostage. Your life is
yes,
forfeit.
I understand
you're
that,
going down.
but he's at a point where it's as great as a shot as he is. You don't want to risk taking out the kid.
Sure.
So I get it, but he should still have the faith in himself,
but he doesn't. There's none. Zero.
I know, and that's and which is somewhat appealing to me. I definitely I can relate. You've got but just the conversation that Simon and Annie have, and even towards the end where that's when the luck comes back again. It was a really, really well done issue. I liked it a lot.
It's a good example of how a creative team can tell a compelling story in just one issue. Boom. It's done in one. That's all you. This is all you need to read.
What might also help Hitch is that I'm noticing, at least this issue, this issue in particular, as I'm flipping through it, this is a wordy book.
It is,
or at least this issue. I mean, there's a ton of journal clippings from Simon. Annie doesn't stay quiet. There's a lot of word balloons and a lot of caption boxes on just about every page. So, granted, Hitch has to draw the panel before anybody knows where the word balloons are going to go. Usually, it's so he's still drawing things. But yeah, it's a and then next issue we get to next issue is similar to we have a multi-issue arc coming up starting with 11. But again, I mean the series started off with what, like the first 5 or 6 issues were the first arc?
I think so.
But yeah, so I mean we've had the done in ones, which are nice, and now we're back to something serious with the Northerner. So yeah,
who has popped up in Geiger briefly.
Yes.
Yeah, briefly.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that's going. Tony, you got to get on these books, man.
Yeah.
I definitely will give it a look. I was taking a peek at some of the pages from that new issue of Redcoat. It looks great. I will go check it out. You know who I saw here in L.A. Last week was Ghost Machine exclusive inker Danny Meeke.
Wow.
He was at Golden Apple. Him and Norm Ratman were at Golden. Just a couple inkers hanging out at Golden Apple at the Youngblood Day. I went and got the brand new Youngblood from Rob Liefeld on the 33rd anniversary Youngblood, and so I took all my original Youngbloods and I got Danny Meeke to sign Youngblood #3, which was his first. I don't know if it was his first ever comic, but it was his first Youngblood.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
So
it's a little Ghost Machine connect.
No, don't front. Is the remastered Youngblood worth buying?
So I'll tell you exactly. The remastered one that came out in stores is the same as if you have the hardcover. It's the same as that. So it's like the Joe Casey recolored by Matt Yackey. It has a brand new cover color, but everything else is you already have it if you have the hardcover. But the thing I got was the brand new Youngblood #1 that Rob Liefeld is like four-walling and driving around to different. He's doing on Whatnot and going to different signings and selling them there and stuff like that. And so it's a whole new like 36-page Rob back on Youngblood issue, and that is worth picking up. But it won't be in direct market stores until like the fall, I think. He's just doing them. He's like selling them
out of his trunk.
Yeah, yeah. He's doing direct consumer first, and then he's going to take them to the comic store.
So weird. And you have one of those?
Is. I got one of those. Yeah, you had to like buy it. You had to pay for it in advance, and then you would go to the signing, and you could pick it up at Golden Apple. The other ones you can just order off his Whatnot, and then they'll mail them to you. But this one, the Golden Apple exclusive one, I got off that, and that was also like the best deal. It was like $10. All the other ones are like $20-$30 if you want to get a copy.
There you go.
He's out there. he's out there and he's loving it. He's going crazy out here putting out comics.
I thought it was the boss's kid. That is funny. All right, everybody. Hey, we love you so much. If you want to get comics and get them cheap, where do you go? cheapgraphicnovels.com. Collected editions, trade paperbacks, manga, OGNs, omnibus editions, all that stuff. Fraction of the retail price. Free shipping on your second order for your first-time customer. Massive list of specials. Don't even think about it. cheapgraphicnovels.com. And please leave us a review wherever you heard this. It would do a lot for us. Whether it's one of them star things, you have to actually type some words. Either one or both of them would be great. So we would appreciate that. And check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/11 o'clock comics. Whole lot of stuff going on there all the time, every day. Can't beat it. We love it. We love our family, and we just interact all the time. So it's a good thing. In your travels, I'm going to keep that amazing Ghost Machine train rolling with Geiger #12. Nice. And the good thing about this issue is that Tariq is not a complete asshole. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's mellowing or if he realizes that he's in a really bad situation, can't control his powers, they're consuming him, they're out of control, and you have Ashley Arden, who is very easy on the eyes, and she tells him that I can help you with your problems. And takes him into a very bad situation where they both make mincemeat out of a cult of inbred fucks, which is great, destroy them all. But it all leads to an amazing panel by Gary Frank, that full-page panel that really needs to be seen to be believed. I think this one page is among Gary Frank's finest illustrations. You know the one I'm talking about, Dap, where she absorbs Tariq's energy and she's glowing. She's got the skull face thing with the rods hanging out, and there's fires and dead people all around her. That is a beautiful damn page.
It is.
I am totally in the cult of Gary Frank. The fight sequence that precedes it is amazing. His facility with emotions and facial features is just breathtaking. Like, I didn't even mind the double page spread of nothing. Mm-hmm. That usually torques me a little bit when, the energy's so much that we're going to give you 2 pages of just yellow because everybody's blind and they can't see anything. Like, I would usually call bullshit on that, but that's okay. When you have it preceded and followed by illustrations this amazing, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. But Arden is not exactly who she says she is. Or because she has knowledge, she lied to Tariq. She lied about something. And she confronts the lie at the end of this issue. And I don't think it's going to end well. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But if you want to buy a great superhero comic, magnificently written, expertly illustrated, just suck you right in and wrap you in a whole new reality, get Geiger, because this book is great. Issue 12. Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, Brad Anderson, Rob Lee. Yes. If it wasn't for the Ghost Machine books, man, I don't know. I think I would be more down on comics than I already am.
Probably.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to read 13.
That's the thing. I don't read them until I get them in my box.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But you know.
I do.
Cardstock cover. What?
Hey, man. I am happy for you. That's
nice.
all that matters. Real quick, because this isn't necessarily a new story or a new book, because this was published in 2018. This is Dry County by Rich Tommaso, and it is not at all what I thought it was going to be when I started it. Our hero is Lou Rossi, who is the story takes place in the 90s, but Lou is writes a gag strip, draws a gag strip for the Miami Herald. Eventually he's promoted to writing movie reviews, kind of down on his luck, lives in an apartment, and just kind of goes to clubs at night, leaves early, and has a beer at home, and just doesn't have much going on until one night after coming home from the club, he decides to go to the building's laundromat, and he sees a woman that he's quite fetching. He's smitten, and they talk, and he finds out that she's staying over at she's staying in the building where she's got a couple of friends there, and so she's staying at their apartment, and they go on a date, and then one day Lou comes home, and his neighbors, their apartment was broken into. One of the neighbors is in a coma. The other one was is worried because the place is a mess, and his roommate, his partner, is in the hospital, and we get and unfortunately, our girl has been kidnapped. There's a ransom notes, Janet's been kidnapped, blah blah blah, and it becomes kind of like a mystery that Lou decides to solve, and the way he works at it is pretty clever. He's going to put clues or try to find out, because he knows that Janet reads the strip. He's trying to find out where she is. He wants to rescue her, so he's going to put inside jokes and references that they know inside the gag strip, and it'll be like the DC Challenge, where you have to guess the last panel of where the next one's going to go, and unfortunately that really doesn't go the way he kind of wanted it to go. And there's this whole like Christian kind of gang that's kind of just like a subplot for some odd reason, and it's when I said that I didn't know really what I was getting into, is that it ends on a bit of a it reminds me of like a slacker movie where you get to the end of it and you're just, what? I'm not saying I wasted my time with this, because I love Tommaso's art. The story was fun, but when I got to the end of it, I was like, why did I invest this time in this if this was it? not every story has a happy ending. Sometimes, life goes on, and that's kind of where I felt with this. And so I had expectations in my head. I thought I was going to get into something that was going to be completely different, and I was just going to go along for the ride. And because it's Tommaso and everything else that I've read that he's done, that I've enjoyed, I didn't expect it to go in the direction it was going, or at least end the way it ended. It was still an interesting and entertaining ride. I just, like I said, I just thought it was going somewhere else. But I think, again, it's not a new book, so people have probably already read this. But if you haven't, and you do like Tommaso, I would definitely recommend Dry County. Yeah. I even as I'm flipping through it again towards the last couple of pages, it's still it's fitting, but I kind of wanted something else, and that's not meant to be. So that's on me, but you'll still get a kick out of it. So yeah, in your travels, Dry County.
Nice. You got anything, Tony, what they should read?
I got a fucking plug.
Yeah, that's good.
It's
Naturally.
Naturally. Celie and I both got in the mail last week copies of the Local Man hardcover, which comes out in June or July, and it is massive and beautiful. Local Man, of course, you remember, an 11 O'Closker winner.
That's right.
Me and Tim Seeley's story of a former 1990s Image Comics superhero that's now down on his luck and trying to make the best of a bad situation in the small town where he grew up in, and everybody there hates him. But yeah, this thing is like 600 pages, and it's just heavy enough to kill someone with, thick as a brick, and it is full of every issue in the series, all the one-shots, all the covers, all the pinups, all the variant covers and reprint covers, and then behind-the-scenes stuff, sketches, process stuff. It's the kind of thing that when I was putting it together, I was like, this is what I would want if I was buying a hardcover, like it's like a Criterion Collection disc, or, for Vince, it's like a Severin disc. But yeah, so that's in previews right now, or in Lunar Image Insider, or whatever it's called. Order that. If you have heard of Local Man and you're like, I'm waiting until it's in an enormous format, this is it. This is the big bad Local Man that you've been waiting for. It's very, very cool. And if you get it from, say, a cheapgraphicnovels.com type service, it will be cheaper than the regular cover price, but also a lot of these bigger retailers are going to be able to get a cool Will Sportasio wraparound slipcover.
Wow. How the frig did you wrangle Will Sportasio into doing a cover for you?
Well, we got Will Sportasio for a cover in the series, and then we asked him if it was okay. So and so then we just extended it out with what a normal person would use AI for, but because I'm a good person, I just did it myself.
That's right.
Bless you.
Just
paint
it. Thank you. Nice. So you'll be able to play the game of when you get it, you can figure out which parts are Will's and which parts are me extending it around to the back cover.
Nice.
So,
I'm disappointed if we get it from Cheap Graphic Novels. It doesn't come with a signed Tony Fleecs bookplate.
Ooh, I think you'll probably be able to get one of those as well. We've got those in the pipeline.
Then
so I think
pre-ordering it from Cheap Graphic Novels.
Nice.
Sweet. Yeah,
all right.
Check that out. Local Man Deluxe hardcover in your travels.
It's good stuff, people. And more good stuff. Guess whose birthday is tomorrow? Our buddy Christopher Kazicki.
Oh!
Yep. Yeah, it's Kazicki's birthday, so we want to give him a big old birthday hug. Happy birthday, Chris. In the meantime, go to a comic shop online or brick and mortar, doesn't matter. Buy some stuff, read them, hope you love them. If you do love them, go online and talk about them. Or here's a novel idea. Try and find some people in real life that read comics and talk to them about comics. And then when you come back here, guess what? We'll still be talking about comics because that's what we do. We don't have lives. So in the meantime, say good night.
All right. Now we're talking.
That's right. Oh, chord change. Yeah.
Yep.
Why did I play this? Because of Sonic Sewer.
Right.
Get your damn Sonic Sewer, Volume 1. David.
Good night.
David. Wish I knew what your middle. What's the A stand for?
I'll tell you.
Alvin?
Abercrombie.
Aaron?
Aloysius.
Abercrombie.
Aloysius.
Aloysius.
Nice job. Nice job.
Archibald.
Tell them that
Hey, Aaron.
we have to thank. You're an asshole. We have to thank Tony for being with us this time. Thank you, Tony. Come back next time. Maybe Jason will be here. Maybe he won't be. Who knows?
Probably another vacation.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But we love you nonetheless. Tell them you love them.
Love them. Love you and
We
you
love you
and
so
you.
much.
That's it for that one.